Hey Grove, Carnation Grove here. It's Brooke. This morning, Randy's out here getting ready to plant some of my wormwood. This is wormwood. I started this back in May. And we're gonna go over a little bit some magical and spiritual properties. And then I have a third one over there, and that one in the white one I think was from last year. I just can't remember. I think it's last year. And then down here we've got some St. John's wort that I started back in May that's going in the ground. And then here's some lemongrass. You know, I got to do a little tiny tour, you know, my ADHD. And here's some lavender that I started this year, and it's doing phenomenal. That right there is their asparagus and onions. This is Brussels sprouts. This is pumpkin on the stick. And there's Mandrake Earl. That one with the yellow flower, I think that's pumpkin. Here is squash and zucchini. This is a row of eggplant. We kind of got into late. These eggplants we started, or I started. I start the seeds. I design everything, and he's the gardener. He's the one who plants it. He's the one who waters it. He's the one with the green thumb. But these are eggplants. Traditionally, I wouldn't have eggplants out here, but I had no space in my other gardens. Beans, we had a really rough time this year with beans. The deer, the rabbits, mainly rabbit, right? The rabbit was getting into it. This is what's your third planting? Fourth time he's planted, and they have not done good. So we have this row of beans, this row of beans. These are doing pretty good. Here is, he's got a net, sorry. This huge patch here that you see, that's white potatoes, red potatoes, and sweet potatoes. All on the outside are different tomatoes. I started the seeds. Inside has got, well, there's one eggplant. Inside has peppers. Huh? Yeah, the eggplant. Inside are pepper plants. This is because the deer was coming up and eating the outside of the tomatoes. But tomatoes all the way through there. And we didn't put peppers right there. I didn't start a lot of peppers. Like I said in the other video, we had a really hard time getting bell pepper started. So we had to buy bell pepper plants. But all the other pepper plants that I'll show you throughout the summer are seeds that I started back in February. So you can see the tomatoes are doing good. We've got out here, I don't even know. That had to be another video. I know there's like white snowball and yellow Kellogg's, and how many is it? 17? I think there's more than 17 tomato plants out here, but he said 17. But anyway, so these are some of our tomatoes, potatoes, one eggplant.
Eggplant down, got an eggshell in there.
Well, he said there's an eggplant down there. Oh yeah, I do see it. I don't know. Y'all can't see it. I'd have to go inside that area. But tomatoes are coming up. Potatoes are doing great. Beans are doing good. Normally we would have this entire thing, four things would be full of beans. But last year we probably gave away 15 gallons of beans. Well, there's Amazon. About 15 gallons of beans we gave away. We cooked a gallon of bean every single week, and we still have like 5 or 6 gallons down in the basement. I didn't can nothing last year. But anyway, over here, it's crazy. One day, once we get this straight, these are our hops, and I'll go through that. That is the most beautiful view at sunset. It's gorgeous. But anyway, let's get back to wormwood. So wormwood, most people know about wormwood for parasite cleansing. Again, everything is for educational purposes only. No doctors here, nothing. This is all for educational purposes only. Wormwood, everybody who knows about wormwood, you take wormwood, clove, and I can't even remember the combination that a lot of people that's spreading around social media to do a parasite cleanse. I'm not saying that it does not. It's fun. Oh, black walnut hull. Black walnut hull is another one good for a parasite cleanse. I'm not saying it's fantastic for that, but it also has other properties like anti-inflammatory properties. It's not something you want to take more than 4 weeks. So if you are using wormwood for a parasite cleanse, just make sure you mark it on your calendar, because there are herbs that can become toxic in your system. It can build up toxins in your system, where there's other herbs and mushrooms and whatnot that you can eat it every single day, take it in a tincture, cook it, do whatever you want, tea, and it will not build up any toxins in your body. Where wormwood is one that can build up toxins in your body. So you definitely want to be careful with that. When you're looking at it from a magical, spiritual point of view, it is very good for hex breaking. Sorry, our road is like right there and cars are going by. It's good for like hexes, hex breaking, protection. A lot of people will hang it. They'll use it in different spells. Just basically, those are the main things. I'm trying to get all, at least get the St. John's and wormwood in this video. So again, wormwood, do not take it more than 4 weeks. Always talk to your doctor if you're on any kind of medication, or even in general, if you're definitely doing a parasite cleanse, because you got to be careful with parasite cleanses, regardless of what the internet tells you and what social media is screaming, because, most of our bodies have parasites in them. And so you do have to be cautious, because there can be side effects during parasite cleansings. So just use everything with caution. Wormwood, again, protection. So I have wormwood in different areas around our property. We have about 15 acres here. Way up that mountain, on that mountain way over there, we have 15 acres. And so I have wormwood and nettle and different things planted all over the place for spiritual protection, as well as to be able to harvest for medicine, traditionally, because we're not doctors. But this is wormwood. This is larger wormwood. She is drying up. We got a ton of rain. I swear, I think we got a half an inch last night. And it stormed and stormed and stormed. I mean, I had a lightning show in my bedroom window, and the daggone house shook. Oh, my knees. The house shook. Oh, that hurt. The house shook with the thunder. Yeah, he wants me to go inside and look at the peppers. So anyway, so let me go to the next one. So St. John's wort. So St. John's wort, this was started May 5th, as you can see. The roots, if you saw some of the video, another video, I had this in the wheelbarrow that was full of dirt, and it just started growing and rooted in. So it's going to, Randy's planting them right now and today for me. St. John's wort, for the magical purposes. I know, guys, I said that I was going to do some videos just specifically magical, specifically medicinal. That way you can kind of pick and choose. But this is really short and quick, so I was just going to throw it all together. So St. John's wort is fantastic for protection from, like, banishing evil, darkness, malice, like dark energy that's coming at you. Now, if you are in the practice and you are in the craft, I guess I could say, I'm not even showing St. John's, I'm sorry, guys. If you're in the practice and the craft, you have baneful magic. And, some people are about threefold, and I'm not. And that's something we'll touch on one day. But there is dark energy out there, and that is used in a negative, not for protection and... not for protection. Some people are just function in malice and their hate, and they use dark energy. And those people, you need to sever their head, spiritually, metaphysically speaking. So there are those out there, but typically I have found most people who practice in the darker side, they're not in a form of malice. It's not like, oh, I don't like you, so I'm going to hate you and curse you and do all this stuff. It's more or less if you invade their space and their sacred space is when they're going to come at you. So just be mindful when you try to mess around. Fuck around, find out, right? That's the saying. So anyway, so St. John's wort is fantastic for banishing dark malice, energy, very good for protection. Now, medicinally, what's really good about it is, let me say this. St. John's wort, if you're on blood thinners, you do not want to take St. John's wort because it does thin the blood. If you're on any antidepressants, you do not want to take St. John's wort unless you consult your doctor because it does help with mild depression and anxiety. The thing, though, it also helps with is nerves, meaning it's a nervine herb, but not in a nervine. Yes, it helps with your nerves as far as like stress and anxiety, but it also affects your actual nerve sheaths, the sheaths of your nerves. And so you have to be very careful because if you take too much of this, it can actually cause nerve damage. Now, too much for one person is not going to be a lot for the next. And when I say too much, most people take droppers underneath their tongue, like a dropper or two, dropper full a day, once or twice a day or whatnot. I'm talking about if you're taking like 5-10 milliliters several times a day, that can actually cause nerve damage. Neurological, how you say that? Neurological, sorry guys. Neurological damage. So you want to be careful when taking St. John's wort because it is a very potent herb if you're on blood thinners, if you're on antidepressants, if you have any nerve conditions. But the irony of it, it's also good if you have shingles, which is a nerve virus, basically. And this is the really cool part. Like I was talking to you guys about calendula before I started growing herbs and understanding them. Of course, I did what most people do. You don't grow because most people don't have gardens or time or space or whatever to grow or know where to start and all that stuff. They order online through different companies. Again, I'm not affiliated with Mountain Rose Herbs, but that is the company that I do use and I have used over a decade. But the interesting thing, okay, so St. John's wort will produce yellow flowers. And when you infuse it and make an alcohol extraction, a tincture, or you do oil infusion, guys, it turns red when you use it fresh. When you use it dry and you get it from the store, it's just like normal. Like there's no real color change. Nothing, no brilliant red. A lot of people are like, oh, you can't make a oil infusion with dry or fresh herbs. It's going to mold. You know what? No. Yes, you can. 100% yes, you can. People do it all the time. They've done it for centuries. Millenniums they've done it. So what you do if you're doing like St. John's wort, if you want to make an oil infusion, you can do it several ways. One, you can put in a crock pot and let it extract with the lid off so all the oil evaporates. But the problem is the essential oils evaporate as well. What I do with a lot of my herbs, fresh or dry, I will add, let's say I'm using a quart and I filled it up completely with fresh plant material. I will put a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of 100% 100 proof vodka, and I will shake it for 24 to 48 hours. That way, the alcohol itself saturates the plant material so it doesn't go to mold, but also you're extracting the medicinal properties that only alcohol can extract, that the olive oil or avocado oil, whatever oil you're using, cannot extract. And that's same if you're making let's say you want to make a protection oil to wear, and you want to, you've got a feeling, or you know that somebody's coming at you, or whatever the case may be, just intuitively, or you just want to stay guarded and protected, and you want to make an oil base infusion to do magically, or for your candle work or your altar, whatever you're using it for, you would do the same principle, because you're extracting everything out of the plant that the alcohol as well as the oil, olive oil, whatever, extracts. And so it is doable. Don't let somebody tell you can't. I'm on too many groups and people are like, oh, you never can. It goes rinse. It does all that. Well, if you don't do it properly, it could. But I mean, plants have been around for millenniums. I mean, this is not a new thing. This is ancient magic and ancient medicine. Some serious roots here, isn't it? So these are going to be planted. So this is your St. John's wort. Again, blood thinners, depression medication, Be very cautious of it. It is good use topically for nerve pain, internally for nerve pain, traditionally. It's a great herb, and I'm really excited. I've had it going several times, and somehow it dies out. We're in 6B, and 6B does pretty good here, but it lasts. It's not an annual here, but for some reason, sometimes just look, y'all, my green thumb is not the best. Randy's the one with the green thumb, and he don't always pay attention to everything that I plant and have going, but that's okay. So this is the lemongrass, which we'll do another day of lemongrass, and everybody knows about lavender. And here's our Brussels sprouts. Everything's organic. That's why it's got holes all in it. But Randy does spray with trifecta. And here's some pumpkins and pumpkin on sticks. So basically what that is the baby little pumpkins that grow on the vine. And it's really cool. But anyway, that's more for fall, celebration. Eggplant, row of eggplants, the string beans. I do have a borage out here. It's a great pollinator. You've seen that growing in other places of my house. So these are the potatoes. Like I said, we've got red, white, and sweet potatoes. These are not tomatoes, y'all, potatoes. Here's tomatoes. I really think these are the cherry tomatoes. I got several different ones. Oh no, maybe not. Look, I don't know. I wasn't good with making my list this year. I think these are white snowballs. And then these are peppers. These are peppers. Sorry, I had a phone call coming in. I don't know what it did on y'all's end. Peppers. These are all tomatoes. I think these are Nab Chardonnay. They're yellow. They're one of my favorite. That's a cherry tomato. Here's one of my eggplants. That's getting ready to harvest. And then pepper plants. What? What do you think about the peppers? They're looking great. No, what type is it? I don't know. I won't know. This might be I started a chocolate brown pepper and a violet purple. They're sweet peppers. So I think that is that because I can see them starting to turn. They're not turning anything else. I do know these are cayennes. We don't eat a lot of cayenne food, hot food, but it's fantastic for medicine. As you know, banishing, speeding up like spells. You put cayenne to speed a spell up, to get it going fire, but it's also fantastic medicinally. It's been traditionally known, cayenne has been traditionally known to stop a heart attack, a stroke, and acute asthma attack in 30 seconds for you to get to a hospital, which I think is awesome. We actually had experience in the shop where somebody was having a stroke, and I gave them some cayenne, and it stopped their stroke. But anyway, so more tomatoes. These are, I know those are my, maybe those are the Nab Chardonnays. These are the Nab Chardonnays. And then these over here are berry craze. And they're both yellow. They're my absolute favorite. I love those. I can just sit there and eat them all day long. But anyway, guys, so this is some of the tomatoes and peppers. I've shown you the ones at the greenhouse and up in zone 1. This technically is zone 3, because forget that mess, but way over there is my medicinal, part of my medicinal garden. I haven't even really gotten to it, and we're already in July, so I don't know what's going to happen, but anyway. Wormwood, St. John's Wort, get yourself some, grow yourself some. Makes magic happen. Makes medicine. There's some squash. And more squash down here. And these are the zucchinis. Oh no, that's squash. Zucchinis down here. I don't know, guys. Anyway, they're here. squash and zucchinis in this row. We've already had several harvests. I'm already kind of tired of them. I can't wait to show you guys. Oh, look, you can see. Look, you see? That's a tiny little ball. Let's see if I can... See those tiny little balls? That's the Brussels sprouts. So this stalk will be full of Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts, if I could speak. This is a better one because it's not in the sun. But anyway, guys, asparagus and onions. We have onions planted everywhere. You guys have a fantastic day. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy life. Breathe. Let life do its thing. And practice some magic today. Make you some medicine. Build your apothecary. See y'all.